So these two parts are there and they are existing at the same time.
So what is happening is with a lot of people, the natural consciousness is there, but the spiritual consciousness is asleep. A wise man once said, "A peaceful mind is a powerful mind." And in contrast, a disturbed mind is a weak mind. Hello everyone, my name is Rosemary Willie. Welcome back to Game of Life. Of course, this is the show where we explore the secrets to living a fulfilled and purposeful life. And of course, in the studio with me today, I have Mr. Devang Shukla. How are you?
I'm good.
You ready?
Yes.
You look really good.
Thank you.
For those of you that have been following the show, you know what's next because I believe that you've been reading the book along with us. On today's episode, we'll be exploring a powerful thing, which is the mind. And to continue the journey with Spooty Synopsis, we'll be discussing consciousness.
Okay.
I am really excited about today's episode.
I think the timing of the episode is very good.
Okay?
Today is Guru Purnima, the full moon, where we thank the masters for giving their divine blessings in the form of divine knowledge to elevate the human soul.
So is that July 21st every year?
It's not calendar. It depends on the moon. So we
Oh.
follow the pattern of the moon.
Okay, so our viewers, we're shooting today,
Yes.
which is the full moon.
Full moon.
So by the time you watch it, it might be past, it will be past.
Yes.
But we want you to celebrate with us still. So please go on.
So that's the reason my mummy told, wear a full white. And this is very important because white is the dress which we use for meditation.
Oh, wow.
So while all the dresses reflect different colors, white reflects white as a common scientific way, but white color is also the color which absorbs cosmic waves. So there is a scientific meaning as to why why the master likes white and he likes people to wear white and meditate.
It's not just random.
It's not, yes.
Everything is
Yes.
linked together and properly thought.
Correct.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm just going to dive right into the book. Again, I encourage you to read along with us. We're open to taking your questions. We're excited about answering your questions, walking through this thing called life. So let's take consciousness. So the first line reads, cultivate the cult of consciousness for your ultimate faculty.
See, human being is very similar to animals because we also eat. Human and animals also have mind. Now there is a research that plants also have mind
Of their own.
of their own. So everyone has it, that how human is different.
Yes, I was
So there is a possibility to elevate the human consciousness, which is exactly the topic, for the ultimate faculty. Now what he means by ultimate faculty is that we have to mature from the basic mind that we have got. Well, now you will say, what is basic mind,
What
right?
is basic mind?
So he uses the term something as sensorium. Sensorium is like the seat of senses. So we have senses like eyesight, hearing, touch. So there is a seat
Smell.
and smell, and that is, or taste, the
Taste.
five senses. But their mind experiences through the senses.
Our mind
Experiences
experiences
the world through the senses. It's a very simple thing.
our mind experiences the world through our senses.
Senses.
So when we smell, when we taste, when
Yes.
we that's us experiencing the world
Correct,
through.
correct.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Makes sense.
So this mind, this part of the mind, he calls it as sensorium mind because it is through senses the experience is there. I can go into more deep if you like, and that is there is a sense of I within every human being, or you can say an element of ego with which he identifies
As it's
him different
himself
from
or
others.
herself.
Yes.
Okay.
So that I then reflects in the form of thought through the interaction of the senses and the sensorium.
I am confused.
So imagine I'm looking at you and I'm talking to you. So what is happening? The sight is on, the hearing is on, and you are thinking that I am separate from Devang. So I am having a separate entity, which is I. So the I plus the interaction of the senses gives the mind a learning.
Oh, makes sense.
And this learning is through thoughts. So this is how he defines the things. But then he says the mind has another part also. So this he calls it as a material mind. Like in our daily affairs, we are interacting with people, we are working in office. Then he says there is a possibility of spiritual mind also. Spiritual mind is the intuitive side of the mind, which needs to be, you can say, nurtured, or which needs to be elevated, or which needs to ascend through practices. Till you try to ascend or evolve the spiritual mind, there is no speciality as such of being a human. So that's why he is writing ultimate faculty. Can you please repeat the sentence?
Cultivate the cult of consciousness for your ultimate faculty.
Cultivate the cult of consciousness means derive a system of introspection, a system of breathing exercise or pranayam, a system of meditation, so that your consciousness elevates, so that you can experience the ultimate faculty. So the ultimate faculty is, attaining the supreme soul or merger in the divine, to put it in a simple terms.
The consciousness is the consciousness we all know,
Yes,
right?
yes.
To say that, I am conscious, to say I am Rosemary.
Yes.
It's not different from what you're talking about.
Yes.
So me identifying that this is who I am, this is what I believe in, is that different from the spiritual mind you just spoke about?
Yes.
It's totally different.
It's a different. It's different, but what he says is we should have a complete understanding. It means there are two sides of the same coin. So you are Rosemary as a person and you are interacting with the world through the senses and the sensorium part. But in reality, you are also a divine being. And you can see that text like in Christianity, it is written, you are made in the
Image of God.
image of God. So if you are made in the image of God, it means you are a divine being also. So these two parts are there and they are existing at the same time.
So what is happening is with a lot of people, the natural consciousness is there, but the spiritual consciousness is asleep.
Very
It's
nice.
not been activated.
Very nicely you have said that it's dormant.
It's dormant.
And we have to activate the spiritual consciousness.
So I'm guessing as we go deeper into today's topic,
Yes.
you would probably teach us how to cultivate or activate the spiritual mind or spiritual consciousness.
Very true.
And of course, the importance of doing that, because I'm sure that whatever activity we try to do, there must be a reason behind it.
Very true.
Okay, so let's read the second line. I hope you're reading with us. The compassion is of the consciousness, consists serenity of purity, whereas the mind has its notions of passion.
So exactly this what we were discussing. Two sides of the same coin. On one side is the material mind, the other one is the spiritual mind. So what he says is, when you activate the spiritual consciousness, it has the serenity, it has the peace, calmness, and it has the compassion. Like imagine there are, when you started the first episode, I remember the greatest minds. I said it is the divine minds. Like imagine Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was so compassionate. It is filled with love for the whole universe. How it has come up? Because he has gone into the spiritual part of the mind. The same is with Buddha. He was a prince, he had all the facilities, but he left it. And then when he reached the state of Buddhahood, from Siddharth, which is a normal human with instincts, he became Buddha. So how he did that transformation journey? So that compassion comes naturally as a flow of the fountain from the heart for the world.
Okay, so when people talk about these great leaders, and I know you've said to me several times that your master, he could have been quote unquote influential,
Yes.
very rich. You know, he's got
Yes.
a book that it's gold, but he lived a very quiet life.
Yes.
And same with Jesus. I don't know much about Buddha, but I'm guessing
It's the same.
Exactly.
Same.
So could it be that, or is it possible that wealth can be a distracting factor? Can a rich man attain divinity? I guess that's where I'm going with this question.
So when we see a man, we see two sides of it. One is the material, one is the spiritual.
Uh-huh.
So a rich man,
Does the material mind has anything to do with wealth, or does it have a different meaning?
a material mind is the mind which is busy in the interaction with the world.
Okay.
During the interaction, he can be rich, he can be poor, he can be middle class, whatever. It has nothing to do with the capability of being divine. So a rich man having wealth has nothing to do with his internal constitution of divinity. He is made in the image of God. A poor person is also the same. Now, the progress of one man to other will differ.
Would differ, yeah.
How it will differ? It will differ on the ethical values. If the ethical values are good, if he is little bit detached, he does not hold the thing so strongly. Like imagine there is a very beautiful flower, and if you try to hold the flower too strongly, you destroy the flower.
Damage the flower.
So materiality or any levels of materiality has no direct implication on the spiritual elevation.
I mean, if that is the case, right?
Yeah.
Everybody should should be a divine person by now.
So there are practices. Imagine, to earn money, I have to say a lie. To earn money, I have to manipulate. To earn money, I need to be angry. So when you are taking some of the states which are far away from activating from your spiritual consciousness, you are going or inclined more towards the material mind. So actually everyone should naturally be, but one part is also there. We do not know our inherent capability. And I can give you an example. A big tree has a seed which is very small. Looking at the seed, you may not imagine how big the tree is going to come. This is also in case of the human being. What he sees, the material world, he feels this is the only reality. But the reality is not the seed. The moment you sow it, you take care of it, it converts to a big tree. Similarly, every human has this capability to elevate his consciousness for the ultimate faculty.
Okay.
So the more you are aligned with your conscience, you know that the heart says, oh no, you are not doing wrong. Would you do the same commitment with your son, with your wife? He said, no. The son and wife are different. The society is different. So I am bringing more clarity of what I want to say. I want to say the purity of intention, the purity of communication. So what you say, what you intend, and what the divine matter you are made of is the same.
I think that if there's something that we should all take from the first two lines, is that we're all powerful beings. Inside of us, there are capabilities that are more than we would ever know if we do not take the time to delve in, seek deep, and find our true selves.
Very correct.
Just to be clear, in this case, when we talk about material, we're not talking about money necessarily. We're just talking about a natural way of living as opposed to a spiritual mind. Am I correct?
Let me say material. Material does not only mean money.
Exactly.
Material covers everything like food, family, property,
So a natural-
money. Yes, how we are interacting naturally, which is there for us to sustain for a long period of time with happiness.
Yeah.
This is material. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. It says the self is of two ways, which you've
Correct.
rightly explained: the natural or the material
Material.
mind and the spiritual mind.
mind.
So self is of two ways: the self of the sensorium and the self of the intuitive consciousness, the feeling
Okay.
of moral sanctity.
Moral side. So we have discussed this part about the sensorium, which is the senses based mind, where ego plays or the I also plays a role, because you identify yourself as a particular person with a particular role designation in the society. That is a one part. The other one is the spiritual part. So what he is saying is, can you go to the second sentence again?
The self is of two ways: the self of the sensorium and the self of intuitive consciousness, the feeling of moral sanctity.
I would first say about the intuitive part. So the spiritual consciousness, the gateway opens with the intuition. The intuitional channel opens, and that helps the mind to elevate.
So the more you listen to that still small voice or that consciousness that says go right or go left, the more you go deep into the spiritual mind.
Correct.
So does that mean that the more you ignore it, the further you are from?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So and then the last sentence that you said, let's go back into that.
Consciousness, the feeling of the moral sanctity.
Consciousness, the feeling of moral sanctity. I think this is very important, because the elevation of the mind, the consciousness, is from instinctive mind to, if you are a deep thinker, you become like intellectual mind. You think and do things. Then you are into the intuitional mind. Intuitional mind, or the mind of moral sanctity. Or you must have heard something like self-realization, realizing your own self. This is the stage which can be done only when, or he says that it is the stage of mind of moral sanctity. Moral sanctity means what we were talking of, the ethical part. Humane values. You love the same way other people as you expect yourself to be loved. You say the truth in the same way as you expect yourself to be told truth. So this level of interaction, transparency, natural, you can say, clinging to your values.
So are you saying that it becomes more than a text, that when you engage with people, you begin to actively love them the way you love yourself?
Very correct.
You know, some people are, I think, even out of touch. You don't even know the way you interact with people unless they tell you. So does it become clearer?
It becomes clearer, and it becomes free from bias. Free from bias means whatever be the background, whatever be the different family, different geography, different in religion, whatever you want to say.
You treat everyone the same.
Everyone is the same. You will treat your boss, your junior, your gateman, your cleaner, everyone the same. That is the mind of moral sanctity. It loves everyone, and it loves everyone unconditionally. It loves everyone without bias.
That makes so much sense, because I know that with Christianity or with the Bible, the greatest command is actually love. Okay, let's go further. It says, communicate them. They are to be transcended to spiritual soul by means of Dhyan Prasthanam.
Dhyan Prasthan.
Dhyan Prasthan.
Dhyan Prasthan is a Sanskrit word. It is also used in many other states, because Sanskrit language is used like Andhra Pradesh or other parts of the state in India. So Dhyan Prasthan means meditation, a step towards meditation. You have taken a step towards ascension. So what he says a very nice thing about this. He says there is Janma Prasthan. Janma Prasthan means you have taken your first step by taking a birth. So once you have taken a birth, that is a first step towards life, because life is nothing but a period between birth and death. So the first step is Janma Prasthan.
A birth.
A birth.
You're welcome into the world.
Yes, you are welcomed into the world with the senses, sensorium, everything is there. Then he says you take the step of Dhyan Prasthan, which is engage in the cult of, he said, the cult of consciousness. Derive a system in which you can engage and work on yourself to raise the spiritual consciousness.
How early in life can someone begin to do that?
I am not sure of the age, because when I was there with the master, and in the small children from their birth used to be there. So there are a 3-year-old baby is there, 6-year-old system. They are involved in the system. And there are old people till 70, 75, even older. So all the spiritual element, the spiritual consciousness, the spiritual training needs to be inculcated earlier the better, because he says receive the risk and achieve in teenage. So when you work in early age, it is more beneficial.
Are there like steps to activate the spiritual mind? And
Yes.
if so, can you walk us through those steps for anybody who would like to start the journey today,
So
right now?
what comes in my mind is 3 steps, or we can make 3 sides of the triangle. The first is philosophy, which we are helping to bring it in easy language, practical language, understandable to all, plus introspection. One needs to analyze what he's doing, and is he doing the right way? Can it be improved further or not?
And just to mention, I mean, you can find that, I think, in our first episode, ability. A way to do that is to journal your thoughts.
Perfect.
I thought about this. Aside writing, can you record your thoughts? Is there a way to journal, like to play record and say, I did this was a positive? So you're not restricted.
So
okay?
there can be many creative ways. You can record, you can write, you can recapitulate at the end of the day.
Can you speak to somebody about it, or that's not a sustainable way?
It's not a sustainable way, and the journey is not about someone. The journey is about your own ascension, and you are totally alone in your journey.
Wow.
Nobody can help except the master.
Okay, so the first step is philosophy, like
Plus,
second step is
in that part
Introspect.
is the second sub part of it is introspect and self-review.
okay.
And if you face challenges, we are open to provide our support, guidance from the Divine Master. We will tell you, okay, this is how we can put support. So this is one part of the triangle. The other part of the triangle is breathing exercise or pranayama. So it is a regulated way of taking breath, and it is very important because when you take, or when the intake of oxygen is more, it purifies your blood. It improves the consumption of hemoglobin levels in your blood.
Is this scientific?
Yes, this is scientific.
Oh, okay.
This is scientific because he's a scientific saint. This is what he says. And because of this, the energy level in the cells increase, the vitality increases. The dead cells, our brain has a lot of portion of neurons which are for the communication. The dead neurons are flushed out. The new formation of neurons is activated. So this is totally scientific. Blood pressure levels are normal. So you get a peace and a serene state of mind. So after doing the breathing procedure, then what is the third part? The third part is meditation. And in meditation, there are various levels of consciousness and various meditation, you can say schools or stages he has defined. So the starting is a normal meditation, which is you have started with Dhyan Prasthan. After Dhyan Prasthan, there is Adhyatmik Prasthan. Adhyatmik Prasthan means now you have reached to some level of self-realization. You have reached to a level of conscience mind, or you have reached to a level of mind of moral sanctity. And then there is a next level, which is divine meditation, which is attaining the supreme soul, the ultimate consciousness, or Paramatma.
Can everybody do this? I mean, all religion, all backgrounds, can everyone meditate?
So first of all, it is not relating to any religion, because it is not a religious discourse. It's a spiritual discourse.
So, because a lot of people mix this, is meditation same as yoga?
So yoga, basically one of the traditional yoga system, which the word yoga comes from Patanjali Yoga. Patanjali Yoga has 8 limbs. So it has towards your moral sanctity, towards good body postures, towards breathing. The final is Samadhi, which is also meditation, is part of yoga. Okay, now you hold. So yoga is derived from a word yuj. It's a Sanskrit word. It means combination of 2 things. So it can be combination of yourself to the divine self. That is also yoga. If you are combining to the forces of nature, you are understanding and aligning. That is also yoga. So yoga is a very deep word, and yoga encompasses meditation. If you are doing meditation properly, one can say you have done the right yoga also. So there are various kinds of yoga. It can be part of Raj Yoga. It can be, there are different yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Atma Yoga. For each yoga, I will take 1 week. But to give you a way that yoga, the term is from yuj, which is a combination of two things. It's a perfect alignment between two. Imagine I am in the form of human body, a human soul, and I merge with the divine soul. That is yoga. You are one with the Christ is yoga. You are one with the Buddha is yoga. So how to purify further and how to achieve the objective. Imagine you are praying, but when you are praying, you are getting a lot of thoughts. Now this will help you for concentration, contemplation, meditation, and improve on the prayer dimension. And that prayer will then help you to further elevate. So even when you are engaging in religious practices or in the material world, this is the factor which will contribute.
Okay, so consciousness. Do we have any last words?
I think these 3 steps we have to inculcate, and we have to make an objective target, and we have to work daily towards it. The approach of the master, Shri Guru Vishwaspurti, is scientific. He says you try it for 41 days. If it doesn't work for you, leave it. So this is also very important that
So
you
try it.
Yeah. Give a honest try, that every day morning before, let's say 1.5 hours before the sunrise, you get up, do go through the cleaning process, then do pranayam, do meditation, introspect, engage yourself for practical philosophy, how you can apply, let's imagine the term ability, how you can apply consciousness, evaluate. Today I worked in the office, my mental balance was not so great. What was the reason? How it can be bettered? So you are raising your conscious level through introspection. Whatever we do, we can do a lot of mental judo, a mental exercise. It does not help till the spiritual consciousness is activated, and spiritual consciousness is not activated by thought process. So introspection, learning philosophy is a direction, but reality, the change comes from pranayam or breathing exercise and meditation. The real transformation happens this, not by thinking, because in meditation you are at zero thought. You are listening to your conscience in the game of life, and that helps you to elevate and transform to different levels. So this would be my, last thoughts on this.
From today, try to activate the spiritual mind. Do not leave the world the same way you came.
Correct.
Elevate your spiritual mind.
And take both along. Both along means the material world and the spiritual world. Both are very important.
Take both. How do you take both along?
See, when you are living, you need money to earn. You are engaging with family. Everything is also very important.
So there has to be a balance. Right?
Yes.
Not because you're trying to activate your spiritual mind, you become deserted from.
Correct.
You have to lead.
Correct. And you have to lead more successfully and more fulfilled.
Thank you so much. This has been a fantastic time.
Thank you.
So this is part A. In part B, we'll be discussing criticism, devotion, and dedication. So you don't want to miss that. I advise that you take the book, read it before the next episode, which should be part B, a continuous conversation from this. My name is Rosemary. It's been a fantastic time with you, Mr. Devang Shukla.
Thank you.
See you next time on Game of Life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, engage, share, and spread the word to more people. Thank you.